Born as Isabella Bumfrey around 1797 in Dutch-speaking upstate New York, she came into this world a slave, denied formal education, and sold from master to master. Her early life was marked by pain and powerlessness, but the woman the world came to know as Sojourner Truth would rise to become one of the most fearless voices for justice in American history. In 1826, a year before New York's law freeing enslaved people was to take effect, she escaped slavery with her infant daughter, Sophia. Finding shelter with the Van Wagners, they purchased her freedom for $20. 2 years later, Isabella made history, becoming one of the first black women to successfully sue a white man in court. She reclaimed her son Peter, who had been sold illegally. It was the beginning of a life defined by truth, courage, and defiance. In 1843, Isabella changed her name to Sojourner Truth, declaring that the Spirit had called her to testify of the hope that was within her. As an itinerant preacher and a public speaker, she traveled the country denouncing slavery and championing women's rights, despite living in a nation that denied her both. During her time as a preacher, Truth met abolitionists William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass. Garrison's anti-slavery organization encouraged Truth to give her speeches about the evils of slavery. She eventually dictated her autobiography, The Narrative of Sojourner Truth, which brought her national recognition. She met women's rights activists, including Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony, as well as temperance advocates, both causes she quickly championed. At the 1851 Women's Rights Convention in Akron, Ohio, she delivered the now famous speech, "Ain't I a Woman?" Her words cut through the cloud with raw conviction. May I say a few words? I want to say a few words about this matter. I am women's rights. I have as much muscle as any man, and can do as much work as any man. I have plowed and reaped and husked, chopped and mowed. And can any man do more than that? I have heard much about the sexes being equal. I can carry as much as any man, and I can eat as much too, if I can get it. I am strong as any man that is now. As for intellect, all I can say is, if women have a pint and man a quart, why can't she have her little pint full? You need not be afraid to give us our rights for fear that we will take too much, for we can't take more than our pint'll hold. It was more than a question. It was a demand for recognition of her humanity, her labor, and her worth. During the Civil War, Sojourner Truth recruited black troops for the Union Army. She met with President Abraham Lincoln in 1864 and later worked with the Freedmen's Bureau, advocating for land grants and dignity for newly freed people. In her final decades, she settled in Battle Creek, Michigan. Though nearly blind and deaf, she remained a commanding presence, fighting for desegregation, education, and voting rights until her death in 1883. In her memory, a bust of Sojourner Truth is displayed in the U.S. Capitol's Emancipation Hall, the first to honor a black woman. Statues in plazas in Akron and Central Park and other cities feature her likeness as we strive to keep her legacy alive. Sojourner Truth's legacy lives on, not only in monuments, but in movements, in every voice that raises against injustice, in every woman who refuses to be silenced. She is there. She was more than an abolitionist, more than a suffragist. She was a truth teller, a nation shaper, and a woman of unshakable will.